With their second round pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks selected Zach Charbonnet, a running back out of UCLA, a player who's really fun to watch on tape, but probably another player that caught a few of the Seahawks faithful a little bit as a curveball pick, many expecting almost desperately so for the Seahawks to go and grab themselves a defensive tackle at this point. But that shouldn't take away from the fact that this is a very marvelous player that the Seattle Seahawks just selected. And the story begins here with Zach Charbonnet transferring originally out of Michigan, where he was still being a pretty productive back for them, but looking to move on, looking to leave the Harbaugh offense, which perhaps was a little stilted at the time, in favor of that high-flying, high-powered, hurry-up offense that is Chip Kelly, that allows running backs to be mightily productive. And indeed, Zach Charbonnet was very productive in this offense over these last 2 years. Back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. 2,500 yards on the ground in total, 27 touchdowns on the ground. He also added the element as a pass catcher and as a pass blocker to his game coming over there to UCLA. 61 catches out of the backfield over the last 2 years, and really good in that pass protection element of things. So a very complete running back that you're bringing to bear now on the football field for the Seattle Seahawks. And also the advanced stats kind of back some of this stuff up as well. His 145-yard rushing first downs/touchdowns since 2021 led all Power 5 players per Pro Football Focus. He had 806 yards after contact, which was 13th most in all of college football. 122 forced missed tackles over the last 2 seasons, 3rd most per PFF. 26 carries of 15 plus yards in 2022, which was 5th most in all of college football. So the statistical portion of his game is undeniable. This guy has been mighty productive. He's earned that productive. It's not a matter of UCLA's just stacked up with first-round talent all across the board as far as their offensive line. They've got some draftable players, including in this draft, that will be taking the NFL and will be playing on game days. But he also does a lot of that hard work all on his own. And outside of the stats, what you need to understand about this player and Zach Charbonnet is that that complete skill set also carries over to him as just purely what he is as a running back. He's got great contact balance. He's got an ability to jump cut and really pair that with his vision to find the right hole and see where the hole is going to be found. He doesn't need to be robotic in an A to B kind of running back where coach tells me go here, I got to go here. He can read things on the fly really fast. He pairs his eyes with his feet really well. And he's got nice active feet that he just keeps always churning, which helps him in a variety of ways, both to get him back to that backside hole if it's got to get there quickly, and also when he's got to churn the pile forward, because that's something that this guy brings to bear is he is very hard to bring down. It is very rare that the first guy coming up to tackle this guy is going to bring him to the ground. He is going to blow right through that tackle. And what's nice about him is it's not nearly, again, just, oh, well, he gives you the power because he's a 6 foot, 215 kind of guy. Well, you're getting the power. No, he can get you with the power, or he can get you a little bit with the wiggle. He can give you a little bit of a stutter step move to it, or he's going to run you over. And so you as a defender have to be caught a little bit at times guessing on what exactly is it he's going to do? How is he going to about dominate me here? And you definitely want to bring the whole crew with you as far as bringing him to the ground, because it takes a village with this guy to bring him down to the ground. So he's got a lot of really good skill that he brings to the football field. That production is real. Averaging 7 yards a carry last year is real. He gives you that kind of talent, and you've seen it multiple years, not just a flash in the pan kind of talent here as far as what he's shown. So I think he's going to fit in really well with this offense as being that counterpunch to Kenneth Walker. He's going to give you a little bit of that short yardage back now that you've been really needing. You really don't want Kenneth Walker being your short yardage back at 5'9", 210, 215. You want to be, I don't even think Walker quite gets to 215, but this guy runs a little bit more sturdier for that, up those A-gap runs, those power runs, those Marshawn old school runs that you can have him now go and do and maybe preserve a little bit more of Kenneth Walker's body at that point. Because I know that there are going to be people that are going to poo-poo this pick, and I understand that not big on running backs in the second round. The analytics tell you don't take them, and we already got Kenneth Walker, and we have bigger needs in other places, and I think these are all very valid arguments. I'm not pushing back on that or saying people are wrong for wanting another player here. Just merely trying to present the case as to why it could be smart to take Zach Charbonnet here on the other side of it. You wanted defensive tackle, but at that point, Seahawks had already kind of passed on the second round talent at defensive tackle that was available for you to there and go and pick. So they came back here to this other pick, getting the player that, again, like I think the other three players that have been picked in this draft have been, was very likely to have been the number one guy value-wise on their board. And when you look at the running back position, as much as you might love Kenneth Walker and say, that's our bell cow back, that's a star in the making, that's a guy who's on the rise. He is indeed that. We are in agreement with that. But I'm also aware of my recent history. And when you go back through the recent history at the running back room here in Seattle, I've called it the beast mode curse. The curse where since 2015, you can't keep a starting running back healthy and on the field through a total full season. Every single year, the starter is getting hurt. And beyond just the starter getting hurt, it's also the backup getting hurt. And it's the backup's backup getting hurt. And you're going through guys that are all on your active roster, and then you're getting out onto the street and having to make calls to guys like Alex Collins and other guys that are bagging groceries and bringing them in there now. So maybe a way to avoid that is to try to build up a little bit of the strength of the running back room a little bit more, to get out and anticipate a little bit more of that injury history situation coming into bear, because it hit Rashad Penny last year. It also hit Kenneth Walker last year, right? He didn't avoid it last year. He wasn't able to get around it. Even DJ Dallas, in his time here, in the rare moments that he's actually been put out on the football field, he still finds a way to get banged up all the time. So it feels to me kind of smart to build that into your anticipation a little bit, to try and reinforce the ranks a little bit, because this team is always going to want to maintain that balance offensively under Coach Carroll. They're not going to want to just lean on the passing attack, as one might want to do, having the wide receivers we got to work through at this point. That's not the way that they're going to want to ride. They're always going to want to keep that balance. And the one thing that we've seen, for all those folks that want to talk to me about running back value and how you can get that later on and you don't need to jump them, we've seen a pretty startling drop-off at the running back position when there has been those injuries. And that has occurred. They haven't had that answer that pops in there and looks anything close to what you had as your starter 1 or 1A. And so they're going to try to maintain a little bit of that talent, give a little bit of that balance, and they'll be able to take that load balance off Kenneth Walker, so you're not looking at 250, 300 touches on his back. Maybe it's now back to a little bit of 200 touches, and you can now get a little bit more out of him throughout the course of a very long season. We got a 17th game season now in this league. We got 2 Thursday night games. You're going to need to lean on your depth and have your depth a little bit more reinforced more than ever before, because of that, in the reality and the nature of this modern NFL, where they're going for every last game that they can possibly play, which I'm not complaining. I like it. But what I also like is this Zach Charbonnet pick. It's a wonderful selection. He's going to be a really good player for you. He's going to add value to this team, and I do trust in it. At the end of the day, I know I'm harping on this. I know I'm repeating myself on this, but it was a value pick. It was where the Hawks did not go awry, where they have gone awry before, reaching for need. None of these picks, whether you agree with them or not, I don't think anybody can argue, they're not you reaching for need. And whether that brings the instantaneous returns tomorrow to next season, to giving you a team that's championship ready or not, I don't know. But will it in the long term increase the value and the odds of that happening? I think so. So celebrate Zach Charbonnet, a very good player. One I think the 12th man is going to really like and appreciate, a guy that can both hit home runs or get you the dirty 3. And that's something this offense needs. My name is Brandon Kane. This is the Hawks Nest. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. But beyond all that, don't you ever forget. Go Hawks.